Hello. We are back on Shit Happens, where shit always happens. Why did my door look like it was open? I was like, wait, what the? But for all who tuned in to the Say Your Shit, you know what guest I'm having with me today. If you aren't there, make sure you tune in every Tuesday, 9 a.m. on IG Live, where we have Say Your Shit, sponsored by TalkShitWithP. So, I have the one and only hype woman of Philly in the house.
Hey,
Hey,
let's go.
hello, Amanda. Welcome to Shit Happens. How you feeling, baby?
I'm good. I'm good. Glad to be
N-
here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for saying yes. You're like my dream guest, because I can say, like, right now I have you, and then
Uh,
we know your wait. Did they already announce the winners for your award?
no. What a word.
The one, the influencer award, you were.
Oh, for Philly happening. See, this is something from day one I didn't even know I was involved in. Somebody that somebody I knew was like, "Girl, do you know you were nominated for Philly Happening Best Entertainer?" And I was like, "No." So I was behind on the game because you had like, I think over a month to promote yourself and say, hey, like vote for me. So I was like, it was already like 3 or 4 weeks out, and there was only like 3 weeks left of voting. So I was behind the in the game, but I don't know. They didn't announce the winners yet. No. Either that or I didn't win. But thank you to whoever nominated me.
But the fact
Um,
that you were even nominated without knowing, and it was there, like, certain people can ask for votes, you can promote it, and people can still not vote for you, and you can still win, right?
right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
either
So who
way, we
knows?
have the most influential Philly hype woman over here. Like, whether you win or not, you're already a winner, because even getting nominated is something. So run with it, girl. The most influencer. Now, I can literally say I've had the most influencer Philly hype woman on my show.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that statement.
There we go. So I'm curious, right? You are really a hype woman, and
Mhm.
I love you for that. Oh my God, Sunday's in the house. Hey,
Hey,
Sunday.
girl.
She gonna distract us. Sunday's used to distracting me on here. So how did it end up becoming you as the hype woman? Like, what, a lot of people don't like hyping other people. There's very rarely people like taking the time to really hype, especially women, for some reason. I don't know why. I like hyping women. If I see you with a cute ass, oh my God, you have a nice ass. If you're dressed cute, like, I will compliment, I will hype you. I don't care if you think I'm weird or whatever, but and it always puts a smile on somebody to be hyped out of nowhere. So how did this journey come for you to be like, I'm gonna hype my motherfucking women? And
Well, I had to hype my motherfucking self, quite honestly. Because there was a time where I was not this version of me, you know. It really came about by, just pouring into myself. And then when you're able to pour into yourself, you can overflow into other people. And, the whole hype woman thing for me, I love entertainment. I love the music industry. I love music. And I just always envisioned, if I were to bring me to the table, what would that look like? And I'm like, well, I'm like, I'm the hype girl. I'm the hype woman that's on stage, like hyping up the person up there singing or hyping up the crowd so they get into it, right? Because a lot of times, you might be at a show and you're looking around, you're like, well, yeah, I'm bopping, I'm grooving, but I really want to dance, but nobody else is dancing.
you
Then
need that one
you
person to
encourage.
make the entrance.
Yeah. So, just encourage people to be themselves, to bring all of who they are and what they do. And that, for me, I hold a standard of always bringing who I am and what I do, bringing that authenticity, that sense of self, that uniqueness. But that was a struggle for me at first to do because I was probably the exact opposite of who I am today. But I always say there's like that quiet whisper that we all have that, if you listen and you tune into it, it becomes a loud roar if you let it. So I'm grateful I was able to do that for myself, and I encourage other women to do that for themselves too.
And I love that. And what you said is so true, right? You had to hype yourself first because you are not that person. Because if you really don't see yourself or value or like appreciate yourself fully, how else are you going to start hyping other women? Because you're seeing everything negative on yourself. So you're, of course, going to be seeing negative things in everybody around them instead of seeing the beautiful stuff. So it does start within. And I'm with you. Like, I'll be the person in a party and I'm like, if the music comes on that I really want to dance and there's nobody, I don't care. I'm getting up and I'll groove and I'll start just be like, cow,
Oh,
cow.
you get the party started, girl. I already know. I've seen you in action. You get the party going.
Cause I'm like, I hate knowing that because I know most people are because of shyness. I used to be that shy girl who was scared of being in front of people, being judged. Like, why is she dancing while we're already sitting? And I come from, I come from Africa where when you say a pool party, people are really in the pool. And then I started going to countries where you say pool party and people are just dressed cute to stand around the pool. And I'm like, I came for a pool party. I want to be in the pool. Like, what is this? So
Yeah.
I always had to be the first person to do the things. And then as soon as they see somebody in the pool, they're like, oh, we can actually be in the pool. We can go to the pool. And everybody starts flowing. They just needed that one person to do it. So it's not that. So I like that you're a hype woman. And that's why I say, how can you miss Charlotte, right? My birthday weekend. How can you not be there when we need this hype energy?
I know. I know. I know. I'm hoping I can be there. I'm hoping I can come what is it, Thursday through Sunday. I'm hoping I can come maybe Thursday, Friday. So
Well,
I'll be there.
fingers crossed on that. But you also said you were not that version of yourself. So how did you get to be this version of yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all get to a point where we get tired of our own bullshit and get tired of telling ourselves a story based on, we all have our experiences, we all have our shit that happens. And sometimes we get stuck in that like victim mindset of, well, I can't be this or I can't do this or I want to be this version of myself, but this happened to me. So I'm kind of stuck here. Like, no, that's just your choice that you're making, girlfriend. And that was what I was doing to myself. So I kind of got tired of my own bullshit, tired of telling myself this victim mindset story, tired of being in the constant why did things happen to me? Why? And I started realizing, in order to make a change, I need to dig a little deeper and figure out the how and the what for myself so that I can become who I know deep down inside I'm meant to be because I can feel it. I can hear her. And she just needs that space to express herself. So it's really taking that journey to challenge yourself to, overcome battles that you've had that are keeping you stuck, rewriting your story, changing your narrative so that it serves you. And that was like, I remember sitting on my step the one morning drinking a coffee and I'm like, Amanda, why don't we just stop telling ourselves the same bullshit story that's keeping us stuck? Like you have the power to rewrite your story in a way that serves you. So let's like look for a different angle here. Okay? Let's try that. And I did. And I realized, there was so much there for me. And, just fast forward, once I really found my sense of self, I continue to do this. It's a constant, challenging yourself, walking the walk while also talking the talk. So encouraging other women to step out of their comfort zone means that I have to constantly step out of my comfort zone in order to do things that I want to do. And I would be lying if I sat here and said, the things that I do on the daily don't scare me to an extent. Like, yes, I show up, I speak in public. I'm fucking scared. I get scared, right? But there's so much there for you after you've already accomplished the things. And I say this to everybody, the feeling that you get when you accomplish the thing will always trump the feelings that are holding you back.
Amen.
100% of the time, all the time. So, once you have a taste for that, it's a snowball effect and you can take that with you towards everything that you do. But know that, nothing in life worth doing is easy. It's always going to be a challenge, right? But it's, are you up for that challenge? Or do you want to sit in the comfortability of misery, of not attaining the goals you want to attain, of not being the woman that you know you're meant to be? That's a choice too. And you can make that choice and you can stay with that. I chose to rise up, to challenge myself, and it was hard, but I did it. And here I am.
And you're so right. Oh my God, so many things you mentioned in the other one. We do have to say fuck our own bullshit. And that's why sometimes I'm like, there's so much grace we can give ourselves, but at certain point, we need to stop giving ourselves grace and actually give ourselves the tough love, because sometimes we are on our own way and we don't know how much we are capable of unless we stop being on our own way. And just like you said, how can you empower women to show up and stand out if you're not doing it? That's how I felt with mental health, right? If I really want to create a safe space, how can I do that if I am not sharing my shit out there for people to feel like, oh my God, she's putting her shit out there, she's giving us the real, the good, the bad, the everything. And it is scary. I'm not saying it is not. Every time I have to come on live, I'm like, God, who's gonna be there? Who's gonna be watching me? Every time I have to be on stage, who wants to listen to this loud mouth whatever? I get nervous, I get scared. And when I tell people I'm shy, people don't understand it. They're like, you know, but you're always so loudly out here. I'm like, because I constantly want to do that. And I wish I'd done it sooner, because in the short time I've done it, look at the shit it has brought me to. Imagine if I decided from the beginning to be like, stop being on your own way and get the fuck up and show up as you're supposed to. Who knows? I would have been a millionaire right now. I would have been like Oprah with my own chat show, but because I decided to delay on myself.
Yeah.
So I like that you yourself taught, because we do need to tell ourselves to get out of our own bullshit. We do need to stop victimizing ourselves. We are not our problems. The problems are always going to be there, no matter rich, poor, whatever. The problems don't stop coming. So we, just like how I tell people, and that's one of the reasons I hate when people overuse mental health, because sometimes they use it as their title. Oh, I'm because of this, because of my mental health. I'm because of it. No, you're not your mental health. No, that's just a victim. That's just you using that as a shield, as a way, because you are more than your mental health. You are mom, you are best friend, you are sister, you are you, and you are you that was 2 years ago, you are different you today, you are all those things. So this victimized mentality, we do need to get out of that. But again, people need to want to grow, right? People need to dig deep, and most of us don't want to do that. That's the biggest thing. We don't want to dig deep inside us and find out, yo, they're not the problem, you're the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I think you touched on a good point too, because, for me, it took other people encouraging me, which is why I think it's so important in what I do of, hyping other women and encouraging other women and seeing the greatness in other women, because sometimes we're unable to see the greatness within ourselves. Like, you think you're shy, right? But maybe that's just a choice that you're making in a story that you're choosing to tell yourself, because all these other people are seeing you as this outgoing, charismatic, powerhouse woman, right? So they're all seeing the greatness within you, but you're still telling yourself this story of, I'm shy. Maybe that's a bullshit story. How about
Okay,
that?
hype woman
I'm,
calling me out on my own
I'm gonna call you
bullshit.
out. I'm gonna call you out. Because
Mark said,
listen, I had to call myself out plenty of times. There were people that saw the greatness in me, and I would always be like, oh, thank you. And it would make me feel good inside, right? For that moment. But then it would quickly fizzle out. And I never understood why. And it was because I didn't believe that to be true in myself. But other people saw that greatness within me, but I wasn't believing it to be true within me. And it wasn't until I was able to really pour into myself and be like, you know what? These people are right. These people are right. I am fucking amazing. I can do these things. I do get, like all the things, and start, believing that to be true within myself. And then when people see me and they tell me, it really hits home, because it's like overflow within my cup. You know what
Believe
I
it,
mean?
because sometimes when people tell you but you're not there yet, it's hard to believe it until you're personally there. And that's why also these communities are important, right? And which also showing up as yourself, because when you show up as yourself in these communities, they see things that you don't see. The amount, like when you hear communities, but Paula, we already knew you were going to fucking do that. Okay, you did, but I didn't. But thank you. But it's that affirmation that we need, knowing that there are people who see you in such a light that you don't see yourself, but there's this big light. So of course we want, like, that's why I, even when I see people, like, I'm like, why are you sleeping on your greatness, right? Because I see you're capable of this shit. Wake the fuck up. See it, believe it. You are
Yeah.
there. So it is, that's why we appreciate hype women, right? And we want more women to, when you see something of your friend, show it out. Like, encourage them to step on their light, because sometimes they want to, but they need that little push, that little kick, that little support, that little encouragement. And also, I want to say, Mark said I couldn't find you all on Instagram, so luckily I found you on here on LinkedIn. Mark, if you were
Hey,
paying
Mark.
attention on my IG live, I said I go live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and I'm still trying to figure out IG, which, it's annoying me. But you are, and it's funny you said you were not that person, because confidence that you stand on, right? Like, every time I see you, every time I see your social media posts, like, you show up with so much confidence that even and I know I have some confidence in me, but even I'm like, I want that fucking confidence. Like, that's the confidence I want. Please, how do we get to be as confident as you?
I think you just get to a point where you're like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Because here's the thing, a lot of times we hold our greatness back in fear of what other people are going to think. And you really have to figure, like, you really need to think of why you're doing that. Those people, whether they're judging you or not, you're worried about what they're thinking about you. They're probably worried about what you're thinking about them. They probably judge their every move. They're living in a box of their own constrict. So you're constricting yourself for people that constrict themselves probably more than you do. Right. So I got to a point, I'm like, why do I care what people think about me? I am in my joy. I'm in my passion and my purpose, doing what I love. Why am I dimming myself down for people who aren't doing the work to allow themselves to shine? Why? And I said, you know what? No more. I am showing up and I'm showing out and I am being myself and I'm not going to give a fuck what people think. And maybe in doing that, it'll trigger some people, it'll inspire some people. But either way, whether you're triggered or inspired, the end result, if you're willing to do the work, is you're going to step up your game and start living a life that's meant for you.
I love it. I'm just gonna say your kids are very lucky, because those kids are gonna be showing out and standing on business throughout. Because, wow. But so, side note, right? You are a karaoke queen, and you say you're into music. So what music genre do you favor most?
Oh, this is hard. So if you saw my playlist, you would be like, I mean, I'm all over the place. I love I mean, and it's all things that I was like grown up, around like Motown. Philly was a big back in the day, like, we're very influenced by Motown music. So I'm all into Motown, Temptations, the Four Tops, I love that kind of music, especially in the summer. Love sitting by my pool listening to Motown. I love disco remix. I mean, there's really not much I don't like. So it's hard for me to nail something down. I love it all. I love it all.
So what's your go-to karaoke song?
Ah, my go-to karaoke song would probably have to be, I have like a couple. I have a lineup, a whole performance. But one I really I love singing Lady Gaga.
Do you do the dress change as well, the wardrobe
I
change as
would.
well?
If the budget allowed, girl, I'd be there with different outfits and all.
After
But
seeing your new photo shoot, I'm like, okay, I definitely want to do a theme party. I want to go to like a karaoke punk and roll show with that. I want to go to some raves with that. I want to like,
you know what? You know what's funny? I did that shoot because I'm like, I want to do something that makes me stand out because that's what I, encourage other women to stand out because I've been seeing a lot in these, communities. And I called them out the other day on my Instagram. I'm like, they're to all the leaders that follow me, you have a responsibility to uphold. And there have been community meetups that I have been to virtually and in person where I go into that room and it's like cookie cutter versions of the leader in that space. Right. And I'm looking around like, well, this is beige as fuck. Like, what is going on? Like, I want to be in a space where women are encouraged to stand out. Like, leaders don't encourage people to be a version of you, encourage them to be a version of themselves. So I thought, you know what? This is the outfit to encourage that. Stand out in whatever it is that you do, because when you do, there's always going to be room for you at the table, So I don't know. Bringing it back to karaoke, I wish I could have a wardrobe change, but the budget just won't allow that right now.
we are
Apparently.
manifesting it, okay? We are
Yes, I'm
putting it out to the
manifesting it. Yes.
university.
Yes.
Wardrobe budget for our karaoke. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm a good Lady Gaga. I feel like I have
You
her
do. I can see
pitch.
it.
Yeah, I have her pitch. And I'm not like a real high voice, so I have to be very selective of the songs that I choose. So yeah.
Love it. And it's so true what you said about going to these communities or these conferences and everybody's just looking like, and that's why I think I love Podfest, because Podfest you get to see
Oh yeah.
women just show up and show out. Like people dress like the fuck they want. Like they
Yeah, that was
it's
fun. That looked
I,
fun.
I know. I was like, I was telling Chris, I was like, I know we're adding comedy into the open mic vibe, but can we also do like a fashion show? Because the amount of ways people do bring it out at Podfest is amazing. Like people, you will find the people who are the most dressed, to the punk, to the funkiest, to the craziest, to not dressed at all. Like at one point, even David was like, with all these fashions, I'm gonna come shirtless. We're like, as long as you're comfortable being shirtless, it's Florida. You can be shirtless. Like nobody. And I like that. That's why when you sent your new pictures, I'd already done your promo. I was like, nope, we're gonna change it because I love this. Like those things. You have even more inspired me on my next photo shoot, because I always do photo shoots for my birthday and I always go all out.
Oh,
So
that's fun.
I haven't done a specific one after COVID, because the last one was I did boudoir during COVID. I was like, what else? And it was like my third year, right? And then
Yes.
after that, I haven't done any more photo shoots. But normally, like whenever it comes to June, it's filled with photo shoot pictures because June is my month. So you have inspired me to get back into that and to bring my devilness out, because
Yes. Bring her out, bring her out. Yeah, I
and
love a good theme. I love picking themes and yeah,
Mark, do
playing
you
on that.
hear? Maybe we should have a theme night at Charlotte. My birthday night can be a theme night. Because my birthday is June 29. It's also Mark's anniversary, so we can do a theme night.
Nice.
Bring it out. And Soda says there's no other version of either of you. I mean, you can copy and paste, but the original is always going to be the original, baby.
Yeah.
uh, Speaking of that, right? You also have a podcast called Staying Inspired, which I absolutely love, and you are fucking incredible. Your content
Oh,
is amazing.
thank you.
Um, Talk to us about how Staying Inspired came about. Oh, and
Um,
Max says sounds good. Uh-huh.
that does sound fun. So Staying Inspired kind of evolved as I kind of evolved over the years. I think I've been in podcasting for almost 3 years now. I'll have to go back and check the timestamp of my first episode. But it happened around, I got to a point where I was like, I just can't get my full self out in 90 seconds on Instagram. And one of my friends was like, Amanda, why don't you just start a podcast? And it kind of changed my life in so many ways. Not just, for my podcast, but as far as being a listener too, because I wasn't big on podcasts at that time. So it opened doors and discovering just how great podcasting were and the shows and the different varieties and things you can listen to. Now it's a part of my household. I mean, when we go on vacations, we like listening to ghost stories if we have long drives. So there's different podcasts that we listen to, no matter like for different seasons and reasons and all different things. But for me, it was just being able to fully express myself. And that in itself was a journey. So I'm like, okay, I can't express myself in 90 seconds on Instagram. So I'm going to start this podcast. And then, I had to up the ante because again, I fell back into this trap of just trying to fit in. So at the time, my podcast was called Empowered Hype House. And it was very much just mindset driven and all empowerment. And I was having these guests and it was very not structured. And I would go on these tangents with no form or it was unhinged. And then I started to get my shit together. And then I started challenging myself to break the mold and break the glass ceiling. And then, Stayin Inspired was born. And even now, I'm in season 3. And this morning, can I tell you this too? Because I
Yes.
literally almost had a meltdown.
Yes, this is shit happens where shit always
Shit,
happens. So
shit happened this morning. Let me tell you. So yesterday, and I call this now divine intervention. I'm like, there has to be a reason that there was a lot of things that I was like flip-flopping and challenging myself. Should I do a episode on this? Should I not? And I have my content, calendar that I saved as a Google Doc. And I had all of season 3 and 4 mapped out, mind you, fully mapped out. Content. Now, the way that I do my episodes is, I talk about let's get into it, which will be like a topic that's maybe going on in the world right now. And then I have a let's be real, which is like usually mindset driven, and then hot off the gram, which is, something in the entertainment news that's all relevant to millennial women. And that took me a really long time to get to that place to change my podcast, because before I was doing all mindset. But again, I was in the constraints of trying to please other people instead of being like, you know what, this is me and this is how I'm going to do it. And you're either going to like me or you're not. And I'm not for everybody. So here we are. I have my segments. It's very radio-esque, if you will. So this morning I go on and I'm getting ready to like pop some content into my calendar, and I notice my calendar is not there. So I'm like, okay, what happened? And then I remembered yesterday I was trying to save storage space on my computer and deleted it by accident permanently. Okay. And I lost my ever loving mind. But I thought to myself, you know what, Amanda, there was a lot of stuff in there that you really at this point in time weren't really digging. So maybe this is divine intervention to once again up the ante and break that mold once again and really be more authentic to who you are and what you want to bring to the table for your community of, your booby squad. So, it is what it is. Shit happens, like you say. Now I got to go back and rewrite all my content for the rest of March and May, and then season 4.
First of all, I'm so sorry. I know, being that moment when you lose how that can. I feel you can get back deleted files for a limited time. Mark says, I know on a Google Drive, if you have deleted and if you go on trash and it's gone, then it's gone. But I know on Notes, if you delete and then you still search it, it shows up and then it asks you if you want to recover it. But Google Drive, once you clean the trash, it is gone. Like there's no.
Yep. But I took the trash out, so don't you worry. I took the fucking trash out. Nobody else takes the trash out, so I took it out. Now it's not there forever. It's gone.
But normally when you're trying to clean space, because I know Google Drive, I do that, you have to delete them and then go on your trash just to clear it, because it's still part of your space to get that space.
Right. Yep.
So,
did it. Boop, boop, done.
I am so sorry, but as you said, maybe it was a way for you to plan your content a little bit different. Like, yes, I could have used that to restructure, but now I gotta do from ground zero.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I had the fire in my house last February and half of my shit got destroyed, my brother was like, I know right now you probably don't want to hear this, but you remember when you said you want to be a minimalist? God is answering your prayers. I'm like, I guess he is. I did say I want to be a minimalist, so I guess I had to add a fire to be a minimalist. But okay,
Right.
cool. But you mentioned something which I wanted to bring, right? So you have these phrases which I like. You have these amazing catchphrases, which I'm trying to also catch up. You have girlfriend, you have boobies. Like, how did that come about, and why did you decide to use those phrases with your brand? Which also goes very well because you're trying to hype women, right?
Yeah.
And but sometimes when you call out boobies, because you know this little girl has like. Even lemons are big, so it's like I feel like I'm left out in the booby squad because when I see boobies, I'm like, boobies, you know. Boobies.
No, we don't discriminate. Boobies, we don't discriminate on the size of your boobies, and you don't even have to have boobies to be a boobie. It's fine. When I say
I mean, to some extent, we all do have boobies, just kind of different levels. Men still do have boobs, right? They're just flat, but they're boobs.
Exactly. You know, and it's funny because I never really meant it for it to mean like actual boobies. I call my girlfriends my boos, you know, like they're, hey boo, how you doing? So when there's multiple of them, you know, to me, I'm like, multiple of boo is booby, like boobies. So I would be like, hey boobies. And it kind of just stuck. And now, like, I've always called my friends that. So now I call my community that. And goal friends, that was derived. There's a friend of mine, Charlotte, she's on Clubhouse, and she had said it one time in a room, and I was like, oh my God, I love that. And I started using that, but I've kind of been fading that out because there's actually a whole women's organization called Goal Friends, and they got that shit trademarked. So I'm not trying to get on their bad side by using their terminology or what have you, because that shit's patented. I'm like, you know what? You ain't taking me to court. I ain't got the money for that. So I've been weeding that out and just implementing boobies because I'm like, I'm pretty sure nobody's got boobies, okay, as their community name. So we're good on that.
I love that. And it's funny you say that. So I normally used to call everybody, whether you're white, you're black, you're red, whatever color you are, whatever nationality, whatever background. I used to call all the people who I love or fuck with, I would call them my niggas, right? And to me, that was a way of changing the narrative of the word nigga. And it also sounds so cool. Like, I don't care what the history comes from. Like, we can keep living in the back. So in order to be better, you have to change the narrative and keep on. So that was in my head, right? So I would call everybody, but I'd also make sure to tell them, right? Like, if you're around my black people, please don't call me back because they will slap you and I'll sit there watching. Like, don't do that to yourself. This is a warning. I can call you. So, and then I started dating white guys, right? And then I'll be sitting there, I'm coming with my nigga. Yeah, I'm chilling with my nigga. And people will be like, but you know, you have a white boyfriend. I'm like, I call everybody nigga. Like, that's my nigga. Like, that's my... So I need the black community to allow me to use niggas. I'll be implementing that everywhere. Like, because it just sounds right for your people. Like, those are my people. Those are my niggas. Like, you know,
right. It's a term. It can be used as a term of endearment, right?
Yeah, I don't use it in that. Like, I'm trying to get the negative out of it from what people are used to. And it's also like, okay, if you really don't want people to use this word, why are these people singing it? And music is for everybody. Like, you're telling people sing, 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 and then one part to forget. Imagine if I'm high in the club, like drunk, and say, I'm not going to remember where the N one comes in. I'm just be rapping and being in the moment, right? So it's really a tricky. So Mark says, how can someone trademark girlfriend?
Oh no, Mark, it's goal friend. So GOAL friend. So
goal friend.
Yes. So my goal friend.
Wasn't there one time when the basketballer James, what's his name? James something. When he was trying to trademark Taco Tuesday.
I mean, people try to trademark the craziest things and even the like simplest things. And I didn't know these women had gold friends trademarked. They have a whole women's community. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sure they probably got merch. I ain't trying to get involved with that. So.
It's like me, I should go trademark shit. Imagine I trademark shit.
Right. Or like talking shit. Like, you know how many people say that? Come on now. But, you know, I figured, you know, and let me think of something, because someone had said that and I was like, oh, you know what? I really like that. I was inspired. But I said, you know what? Let me think of something on my own. And I was like, there might be. I think I said it just, you know, out of reaction on an Instagram reel the one day. I was like, hey, boobies. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess that's going to stick now. Because I just called everyone.
The way you just say it, it just comes out so, you know, so natural. So like, yes, I belong here.
Yeah.
I love it. And so before we also go on, today you guys just posted something and I wanted to give you a chance to talk about it. The Badass Businesswoman, is it a mastermind branch that's coming up? You want to share a little bit about that?
Oh. Wait, what was it? Next Level Women?
Badass Businesswomen. The one that's on April 14th.
Yes, that is my friend. I thought you were going to talk about Next Level Women, and I was like, no, we're not doing that no more. But my friend Dana Gallagher Donnelly, she is creating Badass Reborn, which is a women's networking group in Philly. And I had her on my podcast a few weeks ago, probably like last month or something. And she's such an incredible woman. She is hosting her first event and I'm going to be the speaker there. So if anyone's in the Philly area, if you want to come, I think tickets are like $30. There's going to be vendors there, permanent jewelry, which I can't wait to get because I'm actually going to get a tooth gem. I don't think I'm getting it that day, but I'm going to check out all the other stuff that she has. But it's going to be an incredible first event. I'm so excited for her. She's been in my community and, you know, just to see her growth and stepping out of her comfort zone and doing things and challenging herself. I'm so proud of her. So I can't wait. Yeah. Come see me.
I want to come in the summer so I can enjoy your pool and have a full-on slumber party.
I told you, yes. I have a guest room. We're actually going out and getting furniture for the poolside today. We're going to Costco, my favorite place in the whole wide world.
Yeah, if y'all are not following her on IG and watching the stuff that her and her family get to on her IG, like you want to be a part of the family. I was like, can y'all adopt me? Like I belong in that family. Like y'all just be doing amazing stuff and I love it. And I just love when I see parents and their kids doing content together. There's just something about bonding in a different way that's just so much fun. So that's exciting. And excuse me, I was going to mention something. Oh my God, why am I forgetting? I have lost my thought. Why am I forgetting what I was going to talk about?
That's okay.
Okay. I was actually going to ask about the picture behind you, right? Because that's your old logo. Are you going to have a new poster with a new logo?
I am. Yeah, this is a sticker. So I have actually just ordered new stickers. I hand them out when I'm on the street. You know, just say I put them on the street. If I see I litter the street. In the city, it's a normal thing. Everyone slaps their sticker on like a pole or something. So it's city etiquette. But any other place, you would be like, what? You're putting stuff on mailboxes? How dare you? It's a normal thing in Philly. So you know, I go around and represent.
I need to start doing the stickers on the walls in downtown Atlanta because nobody cares about downtown Atlanta. All I do is like I always have some either tiny stickers or some keychains or something, and then if I go to events and I'm talking to people, I'm like, here, so you can remember me. Here, so you can remember. But that's how you ended up being influencer of Philly. Like your shit is all over now, Philly, right?
Yeah, I'm painting the town, I guess.
And speaking of, we also I wanted to touch in a little bit on pivoting, right? Because you said you have pivoted your podcast before from empowering high powers to staying inspired, and you have recently changed your logo. And most of the time, pivoting can be hard, right? Most people get so connected to theirs. I remember when I had to change my logo, I was like, kind of like this. I've already made all this much. I don't want to let it go. But then when the new logo came, I'm like, oh shit, I actually love this.
Yeah.
So how was your process like when it came to pivoting, and what made you pivot?
It's hard. It's hard to let go of things, but every time I've let go of something, I've always grabbed onto something greater. And, there's like scarcity with that. Like, I was so afraid to let go of that image. And I think it was because I have like sentimental, like, I was, at a time where I was really challenging myself to step out of my comfort zone and to show up as this, powerhouse host, and I don't think like my confidence or my mindset was really at its peak, or where I wanted it to be at that time. I really don't think it's at its peak now, right? But um I let go of that, and then I got my pictures and I did my logo, and I was like, damn, girl, this looks amazing.
How can you
So
not?
right, like, so, it's hard to let go of things. It's hard to pivot. It's hard. Some pivots really staying deep. And it's, a lot of times we get so fixated on like when we have a goal or something that we're setting out to do for ourselves, we get so fixated on, what we feel it needs to look like and what we need to be doing. Like when I started out making, my impact, I was in the coaching world on Instagram. And I thought that was like the end all be all. Like, this is it. I found it and I'm good to go. And I was resisting so much change and opportunities that were happening around me for me because I felt like I needed to be this coach and this was my lane that I needed to stay in. But while I was in that lane, I was miserable. I was watering myself down, and I was just not finding like really that, that end goal of what I was looking for. And I thought to myself, what am I doing wrong here? So I was like, okay, let me kind of disconnect from this end goal that I have and see what else is here for me. And that's how I found podcasting, and that's how I found being a speaker. And so, some pivots, they really sting because you have this whole mindset and this vision for yourself. But I will tell you, all the time when you're able to let go, what you grab onto is so much greater than you could ever imagine. Honestly, I've had so many opportunities and connections with people that I found when I was able to like pivot, and I'll always embrace a pivot. I will always embrace a pivot because it always brings me to where I need to be.
And that's so true. And I love that. And I always tell people, like, if you're so scared to pivot your company, imagine yourself, you're constantly growing, right? You're not the same person you were 2 days ago. So why should your company be? Why should your brand be? Like, if you allow yourself to grow and change, why aren't you doing the same? And amazing things always come up, And certain times you have to understand, like, the end of this has come, but it's not the end of the entity. It's just the end of this one person, and we are moving on to greater, better things, because that's how it is. Speaking of online coaching, was this the recovering online coach? I want to hear a little bit about that.
Yep.
Why was it? What was the recovering from?
I try not to. There are online coaches that I absolutely love and adore, and they stay in integrity. But the online coaching world, in my experience, was very icky. It was very fear-based, and it was very bullying into buying. And a lot of the investments that I made in order to take myself to the next level as a coach were teaching these ways of being. And I thought, wait a minute, like, this is not who I want to be. I'm not going to bully someone into, you know, investing with me. That's ridiculous, So it really put a bad taste into my mouth. And, you see coaches that are on there and like low key talking shit on other coaches. And I'm like, you know what? This is very high school girl catty shit. And I ain't trying to get caught up in that kind of community or associate myself with that niche, And I've been, observing other people's opinions on it. A lot of people were saying the same, like that's kind of like what they're becoming, like this mean girl group. And I'm like, yeah, that ain't my vibe. Let me find something that's more in alignment with me and what I'm meant to do. And so yeah, I unfortunately had to leave, but fortunately I did embrace that pivot, because now here I am speaking and hosting my own podcast.
And I love that. And something that I've gotten from you is you're you're not scared of walking away from shit that does no longer serve you. And I think most of us need to learn to be better at that. I understand everybody's circumstances are different. Everybody, they have their own reasons, but there is power in being able to say, you know what, fuck that shit. It no longer serves me. It's not for me. Peace out. Because at this age, who wants drama in something that you're supposed to be enjoying doing, right?
Right.
If too much drama around it or unnecessary bullshit, that's gonna drain me and my peacefulness. I want to be in an environment that's peaceful, that's collaborating, that's supporting, that's showing up. So it is. I condemn you for that. That takes a lot. And by the way, when we were talking, I went to look up your all the way down to your episodes, because you couldn't remember when you did, and it's shocking how it's not that long ago, but it's also impressing how much shit you've accomplished in that short time. So your first episode came out for the inspiring inspired
Empowered
inspired. Oh my god,
I'm saying inspired.
Yeah, was on September 22nd of 2022.
Okay.
Imagine, but look at the shit you have done. Like, that's literally, it's gonna be 2 years this September, but I don't even, and I know I've just recently, like we have been around together on Club, but I'm still shocked at this, because in my head I feel like you've been here longer. But then it's also a testament of the shit you can do in such a short time in an environment that actually is for you, is serving you.
Yeah, honestly, that's why mindset is everything. And I think when you truly find something that you're passionate about, you can soar quickly. You really can. And I mean, I don't know. What can I say? I'm just good at what I do.
You're fucking good at what
You
you
know
do.
what I mean? Like, I just can't. There's like, but no, it's the truth. Like, when you really grab on to what's meant for you in your wheelhouse, and mindset is big. And Mark, yeah, thank you so much. Mark helped me launch my podcast. And I've connected with so many amazing people that have helped me along the way, and just listening to them and taking in, like, the podcast morning show, just taking notes, mental notes, actual physical notes, writing things down from their experience. Okay, well, that maybe, what to do, what not to do based on their experiences. Just really investing in yourself, your time, community. Community is so important. That's why I love showing up in Mark's space every day. So thank you for that too, Mark.
And I love that you started showing up in the evening chat.
Yes, I love the evening chat. But just always being a student, even though we're all leaders, with our podcast, still showing up with that student mindset, because there's always something you can be learning. There's always, room for growth and expansion. And I think when you really grasp that mindset, as well as, like, challenging yourself, like we've been talking about, stepping out of your comfort zone, not caring what people think, and there's more to my story when it comes to that. I still hold myself back in ways. And, I'll be looking back maybe 5 years from now at this moment and being like, oh, remember when you were like that? Now look at you, girl. So yeah, it's a journey, but I've enjoyed I can't believe it feels longer, honestly. Like, when you said 2022, I'm like,
I know,
oh my God.
It can be like, but you're so right. And I think that's one of the reasons why I personally love going to Podfest, because every year I go, I take a look back at the last time I was at Podfest, and it shows me my timeline of all the shit I've done, all the connections I've made, all the collaborations I've got. And I'm like, yo, because into day to day, you don't see how much you're doing because you still have so much you want to do, right? So instead of, we are constantly concentrated on the very top instead of those little steps we are making to get to the top. And then you be around people who are seeing you and the things you accomplish, and they're saying, but you fucking did this, you fucking did. And you're like, I did, I fucking did, I did that, yes I did.
Yeah. And that is something that I sometimes struggle with, and it's so important. I'm glad you brought that up, because it really does. And I have to reel myself back in when I get into those spaces, because I get like that burnout feeling. Because I've always been like a really good student, and just really excelling quickly. As long as it was something that I was interested in, I excelled very quickly in everything that I did. But I'm also, on the same token, hard on myself. So there are times where I don't really recognize those little accomplishments, because I'm so focused on that end result, that vision that I have in my head of where I feel like I need to be. And I have to find moments where I'm like, you know what, Amanda, let's reel it back in, and gratitude always sends me there. I'm able to reel it back in and just drop into gratitude and look at everything that I've created and realize, like, damn, girl, you did do that. And I just had that moment right here where I'm like, damn, in 2 years, I can't believe that
You
I've
did
accomplished
that.
all that in 2
You
years.
did
Yeah.
that. Yes, you did that. And that's why also I think I like Friday's room, in the Empowered Podcasting Room, where it's wins, right? Because no matter how small, it is a fucking win that you accomplished. That's something you accomplished, and we always want to celebrate big accomplishments, like, oh, I got a sponsor, oh, I got this. But yo, you recorded 3 episodes today. That's a win, right? Because we know recording can be like, yo, you can procrastinate, you can do this. Yo, you wrote your newspaper out today, because I be struggling with sending out my newsletter. So anytime I send a newsletter out and I remember, I'm like, oh my God, I did that.
Yeah.
So those little things, because they help push you to your greater self and to what you're accomplishing, they do matter. And most of us do tend to forget that, because we always want to be like, but I've already done all this, now I need to be here. But it's not your time yet. There's still ways, and you're actually getting there, just not in the speed you want to get. That's
Right.
But also, Amanda, I wanna send you something that I did for myself. So when we get off this call, but Amanda saw, I had to remind her like 4 times to send me a bio and picture. So I don't know how many times I'll have to remind her for this. But I need you to send me that same size stick of your picture, but there of your logo, right? But the old version and the new version, I have something I want to create for you and say, and your address.
Okay.
Once we're done, I want to send you something. Like, I get very creative, and I'm all about merchandising and stuff. So that's why I kept on looking at that, and I was like, you know what, I have kind of a nice idea that I want to do for you, because you are the hype woman, and every once in a while, the hype woman deserves to be hyped, because they are constantly hyping people. So
thank you.
I got you. That would be sponsored by TalkShitWithP.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's so sweet.
Well, I had so much fun hanging out with you today and talking some shit. And for real, I like that your podcast is called Stayin Inspired, because you literally got me inspired. And I appreciate you and everything that you do. And win or no win, you're a fucking winner. You're already the influence of Philly. Like, if people ask you who you know in Philly, I know the fucking influence of Philly. Like, what do you mean? Like, what you talking about? I don't care what you say. So please, let the people know where they can find your show. What if you have anything exciting to look for them to look forward to? If you want them to subscribe to something that you have going on, and a little piece of advice for those people who are having a hard time staying inspired.
Yeah. So you can find me on the gram. I'm usually always on there. AmandaYoa.official. Click the link in my bio and you can check out my podcast. I'm on all platforms. So if you have an iPhone, just look up your Apple podcast. You can find it on there. Spotify, I'm on there. However you listen, you can find me. You can also Google me, as my daughter says, search it up. Amanda
Google me,
Yoa,
bitch. I'm Googleable.
or Stayin Inspired. I do have a merch line coming out, which I've been promoting for a little bit. And we finally got everything sorted. So stayininspired.com. You can buy yourself some merch. I got some t-shirts, some hoodies, some cropped hoodies, some cute stuff. All the designs I've created myself. And if there's one thing I can leave you with, it is to again, going back to the conversation we have, bringing who you are in what you do, really stepping out and breaking your own glass ceiling of your life, of who you want to be, because that version of you is deep inside of you. And it's a choice that you make to allow her to be heard, to ignite her, to allow her to roar like the lioness or lion that he or she is. And when you do that, I will tell you, the feeling that you get will always trump, like I said, the feelings that are holding you back. And when you bring who you are to the table, there will always be room for you at the table to bring who you are and what you do. And if there's not room, then you make your own damn table. Okay. That's what I say. So that's what I'll leave you with.
Amen. And don't be scared to stand out, because
yes,
there's power in standing out. People notice those who stand out. Don't fit in. Like, we were not meant to fit in. Fuck fitting in.
Yeah.
But also, Amanda, one last thing. You might need to go put that link for Stayin Inspired on your Linktree, because it's not on your Linktree yet.
For my merch line?
Yes.
Yeah, I got to put that on there.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all. Thank you to Mark and Soda, our Empowered Podcasting Clubhouse members who are on the comments, chatting and engaging with us. For all who are watching live, shit happens. I appreciate you. For all who are going to watch the replay, please make sure you go follow, buy some shit, because I know I'm even scared right now to look at a shop, because I know I'm going to want almost everything. Because I mean, look at that. Like, you already know shit is going to be rock and rolling the fuck out of here. So she about to take all my coins, and I don't even have coins, so imagine. But go shop, go support, go share, go listen to our show. It will inspire you, and you will laugh a lot, and you will learn some shit, and you just stay connected. And go look at her IG. Like, she keeps me happy on IG, y'all. I don't know. Like, when I say some of my favorite IG accounts, hers is one of them.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you all. And until next time, which is 3:00 p.m., I'll have Chris Lewis with me here on Shit Happens. Bye-bye.